College basketball teams typically populate this arena floor. This day, the players were 300 citizens from real estate and government, nonprofits and law, environmental groups and social services, guided by facilitators from Lead Hampton Roads. Their charge? Look ahead to 2035 and plot out where as many as 350,000 more residents will live and work and how they'll move about. Handing this assignment to the people, rather than just the professional planners, is what Reality Check was about.
The citizens of Hampton Roads have a right to choose what their future is, but part of the idea is to give them the ideas of what the choices are. And this is another one of the great things about this exercise. It shows us that we do have choices. And the people who know more about this community than anybody else are the people who live here.
But in a vast region with 17 localities, each operating independently and fighting for every real estate tax dollar, joint planning is a challenge.
You know, we are so overwhelmed with thinking little. All of our structures are built around small. But if the global economy is really about regions, we've got to figure out ways to make regional decisions as well as good local, even neighborhood decisions.
Participants learned that issues Hampton Roads faces are not unique.
You're dealing with the same demographic trends that we're dealing with. You're dealing with the same issues with infrastructure as we're dealing with. So we certainly have some similarities, and I think the two regions can learn from one another.
Many land use decisions in Hampton Roads must take the armed forces into account, whether it's how to cross shipping lanes or develop land around bases while avoiding encroachment.
Encroachment simply means I'm being squeezed. And if I have any restriction on my ability to train or access to the training facilities in any way where it inhibits the military's realistic training that it needs to do, they're going to go somewhere else where it can be done.
Fortunately, there were military voices around the tables, local elected officials too, who believe it's the public that drives change.
It must bubble up. It can't be top down. It has to come from the people. And we try to do what the people realize that they need and they want.
This day, participants were urged to think big, and they did, proposing more transit, biking, and walking options on both the peninsula and south side, concentrating development along existing corridors, and devoting more attention to underserved communities.
The consensus, I think, was that we certainly can redevelop areas that are already in existence. We need to learn to coexist with varying income levels, education levels, and that we should not segment ourselves in our communities.
Failing to plan really means planning to fail, and this is an exercise to really get everybody, try to get people to create a shared vision for the future. When you do that, you can accomplish a lot more than when you don't.
Atlanta is one example where now they're at a point where in a couple of years, seniors will actually have no mobility options. That didn't happen by accident. That happened by saying, no, we don't want to plan as a region.
Urban Land Institute's Hampton Roads District Council, the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, Hampton Roads Partnership, and ODU's E.V. Williams Center for Real Estate and Economic Development, or CREED, coordinated Reality Check.
Clearly we got a message that we need to protect our natural resources, we need to improve our transportation systems, and we need to think about the style and character of the cities we build in a holistic way.
ULI and CREED will keep the spirit of the day alive by establishing a partnership for principled planning, which public and private land use interests can access for resources, advice, and support.
Increasingly, we need to have a place where people can come together, voice their opinions, and then have those opinions vetted in an apolitical, nonpartisan fashion.
It's like we opened a door and so many people just ran through it with so many great ideas and so much enthusiasm. So that's going to be one of the key things, is to keep that opportunity for those voices to be heard.
Organizers reminded these men and women who gave up most of the day for the future of their region that they must be the leading advocates for regional planning. This real estate attorney plans to do just that.
I do a lot of work with developers and city councils and boards of supervisors, and I'd like to share some of the comments that came back from this, that it is not a we, us, them. It is us all together. And I think that was the theme that came out about this, that there's a good consensus about what we should do as a community.
It's a good beginning. We've got to keep it going.